6,410 pounds on a beautiful Southern Michigan morning. We have a Southern Michigan-owned Cherokee 274 RK coming in here on trade. Overall, looks to be very well kept inside and outside, folks. One owner, by the way, non-smokers, no pets. Took care of it for a couple years and just decided they were ready for a different layout and something a little bit larger to fit some growing wants and needs. Now, usually, when you're looking at a conventional super slide rear kitchen travel trailer, and that's absolutely the way I would describe this Cherokee here, when the slide's closed, you can get to the bathroom and the bedroom, but usually you can't get to anything too substantial in the kitchen. But if you notice, you can get to a ton of cabinet space in here. Those drawers are a little tricky to get to, but you can access them. Normally, however, you lose complete access to the refrigerator in transit, and if you do a sideways travel trailer two-step to squeeze between the kitchen counter like I just did, even though it's not, again, ideal, the fact is, I can access this fridge, and I can access it in its entirety. So if you do want to stop and make a sandwich, or maybe you're diabetic or something, you have insulin or something like that in here, some kind of medication, you can stop and make those travel stops. And I gotta tell you, I've always liked rear kitchens. I think rear kitchens are my personal favorite for couples campers. And this RV is just a fantastic example of everything that I typically like about rear kitchens. Like, we get the same big slide, big windows, big seating and feel of a rear living room. But we're getting these same chairs that you get in a rear living room and big picture window over here on the campsite. And, you know, it's overlooking your site. It's under your awning. It's looking at what you want to look at. It's not looking at the shirtless neighbors. It also is a very social floor plan with a very inward focus. Like, all the seating largely points toward one another. And I'm old for my age. Like, I'm not a super old person. It's not like, I remember back when the first RV rolled off the production lines. You know, I'm not that, but I'm old for my age. I've been called an old soul. And I grew up camping to engage with my family, to get outside, to crack a branch off of a bush and turn it into a marshmallow roasting stick. You know, I mean, that's how I grew up camping. So when everything focuses inward right here, I don't know, I kind of dig that. I kind of like that. But if you're entertainment focused, you see that you still can turn those chairs. So it really kind of satisfies everybody. The other thing I love about rear kitchens in comparison to rear living rooms is they have more countertop and storage space than any rear living room could ever hope to offer. And it's not just these full extension plywood box dinette drawers. I mean, even the sofa operates as something like a storage chest. It can kind of hold itself into that V pattern there. There's no magic trick. There's no sticks holding that up. A Jackknife Sofa is, in point of technicality, called a Jackknife storage sofa. And if you kind of hold it halfway up, halfway down like that, it'll catch itself, and you're good to go. Now, it's nice that you don't have to, you know, dig through all of your seating to get to that storage. But you see that next to the fridge, we've got a full-size, like, super legit pantry over here. And I love how wide that door is, so you don't have to go armpit deep to get to anything. And then as you start to wrap around a rear kitchen, you see that you've got all that extra overhead cabinet space. And down below here, in the back, under that, or beside the stove, you can see that you've got a big space for a wastebasket. I think that's an ideal spot for it. Also, over here, we've got a set of extra large plywood drawers. That's another neat little Cherokee variance, is that they do 2 large drawers instead of 3 small ones. So like your big spatulas and stuff, they can fit in those drawers without accidentally catching and holding the drawer shut, basically. Nothing worse than, like, you can't get to your utensils because of your utensils. And you see, when we replace that farm sink cover, you've just got a ton of prep space here. Now, this is all sealed edge countertop material. All your kitchen windows, you can see both of them here open for great airflow, so you've got awesome visibility and double sets of easy reach outlets. Now, speaking of windows, all over the campsite of this camper, we've got tons of windows. And I mentioned how that one right there is my favorite, because like a rear living room, it gives us these 2 chairs, and it gives us that picture window, but it looks out under your awning instead of looking at the back of your trailer. Now, once again, those chairs can pivot, so should you choose to add a TV to your camper here, you can a very easy look at it. But again, if you're very social, or if you're just not a TV-focused person, if you don't go camping to watch TV, then it's very social in here. You've got tons of seating space. Now, the sofa over here, instead of just a generic sofa, Cherokee was the first brand to bring these sort of like like the back seat of a pickup truck, sort of fold down armrest there. So if you want to sit 3 people, you can. But if you want to sit 2 comfortably and have some drink holders, you have that too. There are LED lights above the slide. It's one of those blue accent lights. I just simply forgot to hit the switch, but I've played with them and they do operate. And up here above the kitchen, you've got a skylight for extra lighting to make the whole RV look and feel bigger. But you also maintain that shade, so if it's really screaming hot outside, you can help prevent a lot of that sunshine from baking you to death in here. And here's a quick look at that accent light over the slide. During the daytime, not terribly impressive. But if you have somebody in here sleeping on your guest area, sleeping in your super slide, like in the evenings, it can kind of act as like a great nightlight for maybe a couple grandkids or a couple littles or something like that. It's just enough light that it won't keep them up. And by the way, a blue color light and blue spectrum light are not the same thing. This is not the type of lighting that's going to screw up your sleep patterns. Now, when this camper was brand new, I remember going through a lot of my Cherokee and Grey Wolf videos here at Haywood RV as a dealer of this product, describing it as a best-in-class bathroom. And it's not that Cherokee has done anything less. It's just that other brands have kind of caught up to what they're doing here, but there's still a lot of excellent features. Like we have the same sealed edge countertops here that we find in the kitchen, and that's a big sink for an adult set of hands. And they have a matching large vanity here, so like you can actually put, you know, shavers, blow dryers, etc. in it. Although you probably won't have to, because you have a 6.5 foot tall floor to ceiling linen cabinet in here. And that's great. I love the fact that it has a shower, not a tub, with a full surround panel and skylight. But then you get up here and you see that we've got a full large vent fan for that superior airflow. And that's exactly why these doors are slotted at the top. So especially if you're boondocking and sleeping at night, you want to leave that one bedroom window open. The hot air that you exhaust just from simply existing and from breathing will go up to the ceiling, and that fan will suck it right through those doors while you maintain full privacy. And that's just a nice touch. Now, this is also one of the first years where they started including these extra large windows here in the hallway and in the bedroom to give you that awesome campsite visibility. So if you hear a funky sound at night, you can check that out. And we're going to talk about a big floodlight to check out your campsite when we step outside. Both sides of the bed have outlets, so you're CPAP friendly. We have full-length hanging closets so that you don't roll over and jab your shoulder at night. They're mirrored to help the whole room look and feel larger. And you can see the previous owners, one of the few small things they ever did, they added a TV mount here into the bedroom. But what's nice is they left the hardware behind, so you're not looking at holes in the wall, and it's very easy if you want to add a TV to know where to put one. As mentioned before, the exterior looks pretty good. I don't see anything like any sort of significant oxidation, any, you know, skin fading, decal flaking, anything like that. It appears to have stood the test of time pretty darn well. Up front here, you've got your full outside utility shower, which is always a handy feature. The camper I tend to take camping, it's got an outside, or it doesn't have an outside shower. So what I have to do is put a little Y splitter off the water spigot at the campground, and that's cold water only. This can actually hook right up to the water heater to get hot and cold water, which if you've ever been swimming in a lake or something like that, or even if you go to the public pool, it's nice to kind of just get rinsed off real quick before you go jumping into your camper. Another neat little thing right up front here is somebody installed a handy little battery disconnect right next to my little battery box. Unfortunately, they didn't use it, and the battery that's on the tongue here had died out. But the fact is, when the RV's in storage, if you want to make sure that it's not going to have a trickle draw on the battery, you're going to be good to go. That way, next time you get to leave and you're getting ready to get hitched up or something, that power tongue jack's going to be powered up, ready and waiting for you, so you don't have to get out the crank and manually crank a power tongue jack, because obviously that's not the point of this thing. Now, if we would have built this, it would have had enclosed holding tanks, but we did not sell this RV to its original owner. No sweat. You know, you never win them all in sales. So, unfortunately, the place where they bought it from did not enclose the holding tanks, but that's not really that big a deal. It's just a little bit of extra protection. This is still a good spring, summer, fall camper. And you can see you got those extra large windows just letting in all that light in the living area. If you look up top, you can see we are backup camera ready. And right down below here, this is one of the first years that Cherokee included their folding cargo rack on the back. And it has just been an absolute staple of their lineup ever since. It's rated for about 200 pounds. That's before the spare tire's on, so plan accordingly. And you do not need to take the spare tire off to drop that thing down. So this is really good for things like bike racks, small generators, even just extra coolers. and just windows galore. Ooh, I spotted, there is one decal here that unfortunately has not done well in the weather. Other than that, it's looked absolutely excellent out here. The awning looks great. I've had it open and closed. We have an anti-slam door with a larger entry handle right next to that big campside picture window. And you've got outside TV hookups. This is the exact same bracket that you see on the inside of the RV. So if you do choose to add a TV to the camper, it can easily float inside or outside. Also, next to this large front compartment, we do have a solar prep plug. So if you want to put one of those big solar suitcase type jobs in here, you've got plenty of room to keep it, and then some with that extra large baggage door. Another neat little note, the nose here is actually an extra thick nose skin. So effectively, the entire nose is like diamond plate. It's going to be very wind resistant, rock resistant, etc. It's going to stay looking good. Now, there's a couple decals on here, like I said, that have begun a little minor fade pattern. The ones on the nose have a slight curl to the outside edges of them. What I would do in cases like that, get a good pressure washer, blow those stickers right off there, and leave your RV with a nice clean appearance on the outside. And anytime people do that, they're like, you know what? I actually do kind of like it a little cleaned up and plain like that. This was also the one year where instead of like a little, quote, scare light, they were actually using like a heavy-duty off-road floodlight over here. So if you hear some kind of wacky noise at night, you can open that bedroom window shade, flip on the light, look outside, and see exactly what's going on in your campsite. That looks good. Give us a call. There's a bunch of extra little details on this one I haven't covered. Like there's a gas grill quick connect right down here next to that front stabilizer jack. There's a lot of other things I haven't touched on. I wanted to just give you a good idea that this is a fair RV. You're not paying the new RV price tag. It's going to be something that you could use for plenty of years and be very happy with, whether you plan to tow it or just park it somewhere. Because an RV this size is very towable, but a floor plan like this is very good functioning for destination use. Whatever your plans are, we'll take care of you here at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.